Hello. Hello. This is Robert Ferguson. You're a nutritionist, a guy who shares because he cares. And I do care. And right now we are facing some major challenges when it comes to our waistline. So today I'm going to share with you a few tips that I believe will help you keep inches off of your hips, if you know what I'm saying. Now, if you're new to me, I want to say thank you for giving me a chance to share information with you. And I also want to invite you to our YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com/diet free life, or just look up diet free life, Robert Ferguson on YouTube, and it'll come up. And just make sure you subscribe, like, and hit the bell so that whenever we share information, you will be informed. Okay, let's get into this. How do you avoid gaining weight during the holidays? Think about that question. Really, how do you avoid gaining weight during the holidays? There's parties, there's being out and about, the temptation and call for delicious treats and sweets. That sees candy is calling your name. Then you have the Christmas Eve for those who celebrate Christmas. You have Christmas, and then you have all the shopping, and again, the continuation of parties, and then you have New Year's Eve, and then you have New Year's. And like every other year that we've been recording all of this that I'm about to talk about, people continue to do the exact same thing each and every year. They tell themselves they're not going to do it, but they're compelled, and for whatever reason, they continue to do the things that is causing people to feel horrible during the first and second week of January. And that's why the number one New Year's resolution each and every year is I'm going to lose this weight. I'm going to lose this weight. I am not going to continue. And the next thing you know, that motivation they have, they're inspired at that moment. By the end of the month of January, it fades and then we're off to whatever's next. You can change that. And I want to invite you to learn more, to do work with us, to work with me, work with one of our coaches, and you can be successful. Now, some of you are really new to the Diet Free Life methodology, our way of eating, and how we're able to make it work for people, whether you start right now or whether you start when you go on vacation. I can't tell you how many times I've had clients go on vacation and come back lighter on the scale. I can't tell you how many times I've watched people begin the Diet Free Life methodology the first week of December and lose 5-10 pounds by the next month. Wow. Okay, so let me give you an introduction to the Diet Free Life methodology, because there's nothing else like it anywhere. There isn't. And what we teach people is how to make fat burning meals. Now, before I go into this, let me give a quick shout out to one of my clients this morning. I could give a shout out every day to like many clients, but today, my dear friend and client, Linda Jackson in Arizona, hit her 75-pound weight loss benchmark. She's got 25 more she wants to lose, which would make it an even 100. But this woman not only has lost 75 pounds with what I'm going to share with you, she has done it in a way where she's no longer on statins. And some of the other concerns, health concerns, are gone. Now, if you don't know what a statin is, millions and millions and millions and millions of people are taking statins. And the data is very clear of the harm they cause and how they shorten one's life. So they interfere with the quality of one's life. And we're talking confirmed. It's confirmed that people on statins don't live as long as people who aren't on statins. And Linda is no longer on statins. Hallelujah. So congratulations to you, Linda. Okay, so how does this work? And you will see how it can work at any time. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a quick little basic overview of what we call fat burning meals look like. Now, this is a fat burning meal that I'm sharing on the screen. And as a fat burning meal, what we do is we teach people how to eat their foods in a certain combination that makes it a fat burning meal. And portions play a role, right? The amount you consume play a role. But in this example, this fat burning meal, we have chicken, which is our protein source. We have a white potato, which is our fast carb. And we have our slow carb, which is broccoli. The condiment in this example is salsa. And then we added butter to our baked potato. Now, you can swap all of this out and replace it with whatever food falls into those categories. So, for instance, if you didn't eat chicken, you could replace that with, let's say, pork. Or you could replace it with steak. Or you could replace it with meatloaf. You could replace it with eggs. You could replace it with Greek yogurt. You could replace it with anything that comes out of the water. You could replace it with tofu. That's your call. And then you go to your fast carb. You don't have to have a fast carb. If you didn't want that white potato, you could have a yam. Maybe it's couscous. Maybe it's quinoa. Again, we provide like this extensive list of how foods are categorized, and this is what is proprietary. And you're either working with me, or you have one of our programs, or you're working with one of our other coaches who are certified nutritionists to teach our methodology. You must be trained. You must be very knowledgeable of the methodology. And then we have a curriculum that goes with that. And when you are a coach, you learn that curriculum, and that's what you teach. If you were to go and become a registered dietitian, they don't teach you this. If you were to go spend 5, 10, 20,000 plus, they ain't teaching you this. This is only taught by us. And many registered dietitians, many clinical nutritionists, many physicians come to us to become a coach. And then they get certified, and we put them in a position to teach our methodology, which is evidence-based and clinically proven. So again, not just anybody can teach this, only those who are certified. Okay. Now, when you eat meals like this, what happens is you're satisfied and you don't feel deprived. And that's why our promise is in the name, diet-free life, right? So for instance, we have a fat burning meal. I could just eat a hamburger, right? So your protein would be the patty. Your fast carb is the bread. Your slow carb could be the onions and lettuce and tomatoes. Your fat could be the cheese. Your condiment could be mustard, ketchup. And that's a fat burning meal. See how simple that is? And we want people to eat. Now, if I made a smoothie, real easy, it's a fat burning meal. Most people who consume smoothies are consuming the food in a way that is causing problems, and they don't even realize it, right? Because a lot of times they're compounding the fast carbs, and it causes people's blood sugar levels to be skyrocketed up. It puts them in fat burning mode, some people for up to 10 hours, if you don't have a smoothie in the proper amounts and combine the proper way. So in this example, the protein powder, if you use protein powder, would be your protein. The same as I would have a patty, or I would have chicken or turkey, fish. The banana is my fast carb. The blueberries is my slow carb. I like to add peanut butter to my smoothie, so that's my fat. And my condiment is unsweetened almond milk. Now, that could be oat milk, and there's other milks, but this is just an example of what you can do with regular everyday foods you have everywhere to make a fat burning meal. If I wanted to change up that smoothie, maybe it's St. Patrick's Day and I want to have a green smoothie. Then I would just replace the blueberries, which is a slow carb, with a cup of raw spinach, which will give me the color. And the flavor is great. And if you like chia seeds, which a lot of people do, they're great, especially if you're not eating a lot of fish that has that real good amount of omega-3 polyunsaturated fats that helps bring down inflammation, then this would be a smoothie. Now, during the holidays or whatever day, I can make this work. So for instance, when I was talking to China, they were very interested in the diet-free life methodology. And they said, well, will it work in China? And I said, absolutely. And I said, like, when it comes to protein, what's something that you guys consume? And they're like, well, we eat a lot of beef. Okay. So in this example, the protein would be beef. The fast carb would be the white rice. Now, if you don't like white rice, that's fine. You can get brown rice, wild rice. That's choose the rice you want or the fast carb you want. And then you have your slow carb and you have your condiment, which is a teriyaki sauce, and that's a fat burning meal. See, a lot of times I don't spend a lot of time showing and giving examples of how we train or teach people. But every person I've ever put the methodology in front of, I mean, we're talking hundreds of doctors, nurses, dietitians, everyone always says the same thing. This makes sense, and this is something that everybody would benefit from. Yeah, it's a methodology framed around a system. Okay, here's an example of spaghetti and meatballs, and I'm almost done, by the way. But you have your protein. Again, begin with protein in mind. So I got meatballs. The noodles is my fast carb. The condiment is the sauce. The fat is the cheese I put on there. Again, condiments and cheese and fat, those are optional. And then I have a little side salad, and that's a fat burning meal. And when I share that Linda loses 75 pounds, or I share how Susan loses 100 pounds, or I share, Teresa, how she lost 290 pounds, or how some of my clients who have been stuck at their weight for a long time, maybe they only had 10 to 20 pounds left to lose. Boom. We teach them all of this. They apply it. The built-in accountability of having a coach, like a business coach or any other coach, is there. And we stay the course. And you wake up like Linda, 75 pounds lighter, and you never felt like you were on a diet. This is what we also refer to as education. Nutrition education is king. And if you looked at a fat burning meal from a distance, right, the only difference is that one has a fast carb and one doesn't. So you don't have to always have a fast carb. Again, it's totally up to the individual. And then the last slide I'll share with you, and I've shared this a while back, but I find this one, like, it blows my mind, right? So if you went back to 1960, we can go back to 1900. You can see in all the graphs and all the studies that obesity continues to increase. It's at an all-time high and it's predicted to get even worse. It's bad, you guys. By 2030, if you look at all ethnicities living in America, 50% of the adult population will be considered obese. Now, if you look at the African American community, we're around 67% adults right now are obese. Latinos, high 50% right now. So if as a country, we're going to be at 50% and we continue to hit all of these benchmarks as far as projections, so it's probably going to be worse. Same as everybody keeps doing the same thing every holiday season. They keep putting off losing weight. They keep putting off going and getting their colon checked. They keep putting off doing the things that will help people. We know that you don't put off getting a mammogram. The women have stood up. There's still a population that continues to not get their mammograms, but a whole bunch of people are getting mammograms, and we're catching breast cancer at an earlier stage. So if you follow me, we're creatures of habit, and we keep doing the same thing again and again and again, saying out loud that we want a different result, and you ain't getting no different result. So what are you going to do about it? Well, if you look right here, okay, obesity keeps going up. All the other chronic related illnesses continue to go up. And I'm just pointing out seed oils, vegetable oils, because that is the only thing we've been consuming that is 100% in alignment with the increase of obesity. We're actually eating less sugar today than we were 10 years ago. We're eating fewer calories than 10 years ago. There's more gyms today than ever. There's more health conscious magazines, health conscious shows, health conscious everything than ever, but we continue to get worse. One of the reasons is that our metabolism gets compromised and it's not as efficient as it once was. And one of the things that's causing this inefficiency with our metabolism are these seed and vegetable oils: safflower oil, sunflower oil, soybean oil, canola oil, and the list goes on and on. You know, you can go to our website, get our newsletter, and we share these oils to avoid, and we share the oils that you may benefit best from consuming compared to the seed oils. So, all of this being said, let's stop the insanity, you guys. You can still have your wine. You can still have your fun. You can enjoy the festivities and not cause yourself to be worse off on January 2nd than you are right now. So, wine is your friend. It's a fast carb when you're having a meal. When it's by itself, it could be a snack. When you learn how to do this, because the difference between me and you is that I know this. If you knew what I knew when it came to nutrition, which is the goal, I want you to know what I know, then you can make it work no matter what your situation is, no matter where you find yourself, you can make it work. But if you don't have the knowledge, then you're just floating. And then you'll just do some diet that is not really educating you, and you'll just find yourself back to where you are again. Let's stop the madness. And we're here to help you. Okay, whether you become a client or whether you just stay in touch with us so you can learn, apply what we share. And if you're not part of our Facebook group, become part of the Facebook group, because people are sharing meals all the time. I share information on a regular basis. And if you didn't have a penny to your name, you could still acquire the knowledge because you're passionate about doing something for yourself that nobody but you can do for you. Okay? So thank you. I appreciate you letting me share. You don't got to gain weight this season. You can do this. And we are here to help you. Okay? So the next time, I'll share something more uplifting and fun. I mean, this was fun to me, but I don't want people feeling bad that they continue to gain weight and they said they're going to be different last year, but yet they're not. Then they said they're going to be different 2 years ago, and they're not. They keep putting off doing something about it. Oh, and then they go to a party or a family gathering, and it's like, what's wrong with me? And your internal dialogue starts to suppress you. And that's not a good place. And then you get to this place where you just throw in the towel. You just, and when people give up, guess what? Eventually you're going to wake up and you're going to want to do something about it. That's why you don't give up. You stay the course. I'm Robert Ferguson. I want to say thank you. And for those who were able to catch me live, I saw that Tammy Ann got me live. Tammy's awesome. She is making things happen. Appreciate you. Sandy, hey, big shout out. Thanks for catching the live. And for those who catch the replay, thank you for catching the replay. And do me a favor, share this information so that other people can be aware of the possibilities that we make available with the diet-free life methodology. Again, I'm Robert Ferguson, your nutritionist. I share because I care. Until the next one.